Okay, hello everybody. Welcome to Korean Atlanta Mentorship. So I need to make a t-shirt that says something like proud to have zero in checking and savings or something like that. Because I'm in a special club and hopefully you might be in a special club too, where we just got zero in our checking account. Tell you, look at this, 9,600 deposits, 9,600 out the door. But most people, I don't think most people can do this. And you know what? I did a quick Google search and I found this Reddit post. Scared to use savings to pay off debt. I know it's the right thing to do. It just feels scary to use our savings to pay off debts. Currently have about 50K in total cash accounts and 29K in total loans, student loan and car. I know that still leaves us with a healthy emergency fund, but hard to wrap my head around. Not sure if I have a question, just looking for reinsurance and confidence boost to know I am doing the right thing, right? And so here's the thing. I'm not saying you got to do velocity banking, but the reason why my account is zero is because I do velocity banking, right? So if I got debt something similar to this right here, right? Where maybe I have a few credit card debts, a student loan, auto loan, and I'm able to save 20 grand because I live with my parents, right? And funny story. I actually have a friend who lived with his parents after college and went to work, and then he put a down payment on a home in an expensive area in Southern California and didn't live in it. It's like one of those Chinese homes. Like he's not Chinese, but I don't know if you ever heard of stories where like rich Chinese people buy a property and then like uses their vacation home. Um, Not too much, but it's empty for most of the year. I don't know if you ever heard those stories in California, but he was kind of like that. And it's crazy, right? But again, living with your parents is kind of awesome when it comes to having some savings because you don't have to pay rent or mortgage, and then you could uh, accumulate a huge amount of savings. And I'm not saying the guy on Reddit did that, but I'm just saying this could be a plausibility if you want to get some savings. But here's the thing: if I have a savings account, right, and there's 4% savings account nowadays I've seen, but if you do it to a big bank, like deposit your money in a big bank, what are you getting? Like 0.001. So if I'm increasing this much by 0.001 and I got 35K of credit card debt, I'm certainly a loser. And I'm not even counting inflation, right? So let's go ahead and do this. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to do the opposite of this guy and just use our savings to pay debt, right? I know he doesn't have any credit cards, but it's still the same idea. And we're just going to use a line of credit as a tool to help us pay it off, right? You might be thinking it's crazy. Wow, 15% line of credit against a 3% loan. What's the point of that? The point of it is that you're going to pay off your debts in a certain order that's going to maximize your cash flow. And then the line of credit at that point will be for preventing segregation of income, right? Even Dave Ramsey says that when you pay off debt, it's not always about the highest interest, right? You ever hear Dave Ramsey say that? It's not always about the highest interest. Now, with velocity banking, the philosophy is whatever increases your cash flow the most. All right, so let's go ahead and do velocity banking, and we're just going to do another review of it again. And there's always two requirements to it. One is the budget, which we've already done, and the second one is using our line of credit as our main operating account. And let's just assume we have a 15%, $15,000 personal line of credit, right? Personal line of credit, and we'll get back to that. And what's a line of credit? It's essentially a credit card, right? You pay stuff, you pay it back and you use it over and over again. Now there's different types of lines of credit in addition to credit cards, like personal and home equity line of credit. And I actually talked to someone today who knew what a home equity line of credit, but he didn't even know that a personal line of credit existed that's unsecured. And I whipped out my bank account a web page and said, "Look, 15 grand personal line of credit available to me," and I got to use it because sometimes banks, if they don't see you using their products, they close them, right? So I gotta use it. Anyways, let's go ahead and do this, and let's apply this 20 grand of savings to here. 20K, 5K. We could do like 5, 10 here, or just get rid of this payment. So let's just do this. Let's get rid of this payment, and then this is where the freak out happens, right? Where the savings goes to zero. Oh my goodness, what do we do? Right? Zero savings, mind blown, right? So this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna go ahead and copy this and same income, right? Now what we're gonna do is just copy this, okay? So copy this, and now we're gonna commit to having zero savings, right? Here in this scenario, we're committing to putting something in our savings, growing it at 0.001% to 4%. But now we're going to commit to having zero savings. Why? Because we're going to put our entire paycheck into our debt. Okay. And let's go ahead and do that. C2 minus C3. And then we're going to calculate our cash flow, which is $2,785. And now what we can do is we have this debt. So let's go ahead and move these debts over and do a debt transfer, 15 grand, right? And then guess what happens when we just do that debt transfer? 0, 0, bam. Now our cash flow is 3,200. And that was so easy, right? We're not scared to use our savings because we're going to put our entire paycheck into that line of credit. We're going to have that $0 bank account, right? $0. Okay. So it's going to be easy, right? And I'm going to just go ahead and calculate the next month's payment, right? Let's go ahead and do that. And, or not payment, balance. So all we gotta do is just do our velocity banking calculations, which we always do. And the next month's balance is going to be the previous month's balance minus the previous plus the previous month's interest minus our cash flow. So you can see right here our cash flow is 3293 0.77, right? And then I'm going to go ahead and average these two out, right? So 13 grand is the average daily balance, but we're going to multiply it by the interest rate, which is 0.15%, and then divide it by 12 because we need to get the monthly interest. And let's see how long it takes to pay these credit cards off. Oh my goodness, 5 months. 5 months. How easy was that? Bam. So, milestone. 5 months to pay off 25, 35K of debt, right? Now we can truly grow our money. Now, here's the thing. I know some people are like, oh, this is low interest rate debt, right? Low interest rate debt. Why would you use a line of credit to pay it off? And that's because if we pay this off quickly, and this isn't that much debt balance on the debt, we get more cash flow. And here's the funny thing. If you ever look at the loan interest on a student loan and auto loan, it's not that much, right? But car dealerships, especially the car dealerships, they go crazy for financing because that 1 to 2 grand along with the financing fees, they go crazy for, right? They go crazy for it, right? And I forgot to put 3% here, but this is 3%. All right. And here's the other thing too. I don't know if you knew this, but the number one asset of the federal government is student loans. I found this out recently that 45% of the federal government's assets is student loans, and then I think like their next biggest asset was like cash receivables or something like that at 12.5%. So there's a reason why they want everybody to go to college, and I don't think it's because they want you to get smarter. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and do this and figure out which loans do we pay off first. So there's two ways to figure out which loans we pay off first. Do we pay off? And I don't think there's 156K of debt. What am I doing? This is from an old thing. All right. So now let's go ahead and figure out, are we going to pay the student loan off first or auto loan off? And there's two debt criterias. I always like just using cash flow index. To me, it's a little bit easier to understand because it's a mathematical thing, right? And I'm just going to go ahead and calculate that. So 15,000 divided by 310.92. And then this one is 22,000 divided by 395.31. All right. So what do these numbers mean? And ignore the dollar sign for now. Basically, it means the balance to the payment ratio of the loan, and usually you want to pay off um, the lower number one first because you get more bang for your buck. Now, here's the thing. Um, we can actually probably, because we have so much cash flow, we could actually just probably move this into here, and I think we'll pay it off relatively quickly. Or we could just do it in little what we call quote bite-sized chunks, if we're concerned, about the interest rate, right? So I actually have a velocity banking calculator here they'll really do everything for us without really doing the calculation. But let's go ahead and do this, right? Just put that number in. And um, all right, so what's the loan balance, original loan balance? And I totally forgot what that was. But I think it's $30,000, right? So I did this. So 30,000 is the original balance. The current balance is 15,000. The interest rate is 4.5%, right? And I got this just before I continue. I actually got this from Renatus. So this is where I first learned velocity banking from in 2017. So I actually sell these courses and get a commission off of that. Just want to make that full disclosure because I'm an independent contractor marketer. Okay, so now let's go to the payment amount. So the payment amount is 310.92, 310.92. All right. So now let's just do this. Move $5,000 to our line of credit at 15%. $5,000 is our income, and everything. We take into account everything except the loan we're paying off. So 1395.31, 1395.31. And then we can see it takes us 0.4 years to pay off, right? And let's say we put the entire thing into the line of credit. We'll just put 15,000 into that line of credit. I think this will go up even though the years will stay the same. 15,000. Yeah, it does, right? So notice, you know what's crazy? Okay, look at this. 155 days to pay off. So it's actually slower if you do it in little chunks, but you pay less interest. But if you do 15,000 and put the entire thing in a line of credit, it actually is a little bit faster, but you pay more interest because you're putting more of the debt into a higher interest rate line of credit. Hopefully that makes sense. And if it doesn't, just ignore everything that I said. Okay, 0.4 years. So this one is going to take 5 months. And how much is 0.4 years? 0.4 times 12. That's 4.8. 4.8. No, did I screw up? 4.8 months. So we'll just say 5 months. So we'll say 10 months. Let's see. So 10 months to pay off this 15K of student loan debt that was originally 30K, but no worries. So this will be 50. And then now we have to figure out at 10 months how much is the balance of this $22,000 loan. We just go to calculator.net loan amortization. All right. So now let's just go ahead and do this. I just assumed it was a new car loan for 5 years at, what was the interest rate? 3%. So this is not that much interest, but we could probably get rid of it really quickly because we have that extreme maximum cash flow. And so now 22,000 at 3%, right? And then now how many months? We're going to be at 10 months. So 10 months is going to be 18 grand, right? So we're going to use our velocity banking calculator to determine the payoff. And anytime you're dealing with the amortized loan, I just like using the calculator, especially if it's higher balance and low interest. The credit cards are really easy to do, but these low interest, high balance loans are kind of tricky. Oh, did something happen to my calculator? Oh, going crazy. Okay, give me one moment to reload this. Okay, so now, all right, so 22,000, 22,000. So the interest rate is at 3%. And what is the term? Oh, I screwed up on the term. Oh, well. All right, so what is the term? It is going to be 5 years. And the payment amount is 395.31, 395.31. Okay. And then, so let's just keep doing this. And what's now our expenses? So it's everything but the loan we're paying off, which is $1,000. Okay. And now, as you can see, it takes us 0.5 years to pay this off, half of a year, so 6 months. And let's see what happens if I put this entire thing into a line of credit. 18558.35. And let's see, 169 is number of days, and 273 is accelerated interest. And as you can see, the number of days still stays the same, but the interest, it almost doubles. Okay, so good deal. So 0.5 years. So 0.5. So 10 plus 5. No, 6. That'll be 16 months. 77K. No, 72K. Oh my goodness, that was so easy. 16 months. That's less than 2 years. Oh my goodness. Less than 16 times 16 times divide by 12, right? 1.3 years debt free. And now we can start investing and have our money grow. And when we've paid off all our debt, and it's easy, right? Proud to have zero in checking savings. We're all good. All right. Well, this is Korean Atlanta Mentorship. Are you in the Proud to have zero in checking savings club like me? Because I am. And I don't know anyone else who's proud to be in this club. All right. Well, this is Korean Atlanta Mentorship. If you're interested in joining our group, go ahead and click the Google form link below. Other than that, have a great day, and we will speak next time.